Hi and welcome again to Charlie's Trains. This is a short, quick tips and tricks type video, and I'm going to share some information about controllers. So just hang on a second to change the camera around. So this is the controller that you've probably seen in a couple of the videos that I've made. It's fairly standard, robust, North American type controller. It's got on-off momentum, on-off direction and brake and speed control. Quite good, and doesn't appear to have any issues powering any of the locos that I have. Now, you also may have heard me talk about John's Amazing Trains, Chams123 as he's known as on YouTube. And what John did was he explained how he's going to beef up this particular controller, R965, and the key is that it should be, I think, 95 or before. So if you watch John's video about it, you'll get a better explanation. But every one of these Triang controllers has a number painted on the back, and the last two digits is the year it was made, and it is those that John found out a way to change and beef it up and provide you with substantial control over the speed of the locos. Now, you saw my little Triang dock shunter racing across the points here, but with this Triang controller modified, you'll have greater control over that speed and you'll be able to run it at slow speeds. And this is how he did it. Now, this is one of a number of them which I'd purchased, and what's missing from here is a heatsink, tiny little heatsink that was attached to these three holes there, and you know, a couple of cords coming out this side, and this is where the power would go in here, and I've replaced it with a heavy duty wire that John suggested, and as you see, it's Hornby 965. Now on the other side, you can see here where I've desoldered those joints and been able to pull off the heatsink that was on there at E, C and B. And also you have to cut this track here. It takes you back round to that power cord. And similar here, that gets cut as well. And as I said, if you watch John's great video on this, you'll get a more in-depth discussion on the procedures and methodologies. So basically, after you've removed the heatsink that was here and cut some of those lines on the back side, attach some new wires, then the next step is to attach this heatsink. Now, this is a huge heatsink. I found it somewhere and it was of sufficient length that I'd been able to adapt it for two other controllers. Now, this replaces that small heatsink, and in order to do that, you have to drill a hole round about here making sure that you avoid this track here on the underside. So you have to plan that out carefully. And having removed that heatsink, there's a specific heatsink connector that you buy, MOFSET or MOFET, that you attach here, and you solder on your 3 jumper wires back down into where that heatsink was. And I mean, I didn't do a great job with it, but I managed to get it done. I really have to practice my soldering. Anyway, you can actually get the top back on, no problem. What I did was I also drilled a couple of holes just in case, to let the heat out. And as you can see, there's that number again, 4894. And I've actually got a few of them in here. Oh. 16th of May, that might be 97 or 91, not really sure. I would have to open it up to check it out inside. And here's an example of that aluminium or aluminum, as they say here in North America, heatsink. You can buy these at electrical stores and then drill a hole to suit and chop it up to suit. Now, I'm not an expert on electronics, that's for sure. And John said you would need to use a battery charger. So you're supposed to hook up the battery charger to the wires that come out of the controller and then wire it up to the track, and that will do. Now, if you have a look in my site, you will see that I took an E3000 and I powered it up on a piece of track, and it really did crawl. So check that out. Now, there's something else I want to share with you. You may be aware that the guys at Budget Model Railways have come up with a very similar concept. This is a PWR, and it does basically the same thing. It gives you superior control for your older locomotives, and this one is not the exact same as you will see on their website. It is similar, and I made the mistake of ordering 3 or 4 of these. But what I also had to buy was an AC-DC adapter, or DC power, and an on-off sort of forward and reverse switch. And these I should be able to hook up here to the back side of this little board. So here's a little board. As you can see, it has a small heat sink, and there's the control knob on the end. And what the guys at Budget Model Railways have done is they've 3D printed a little box to hold this. Now, these components here at the end, they're not diodes, I can't remember what these things are called, but at the bottom of it here you can see these connectors, 4 of them, and you switch it over and it says power, motor. Now I'm assuming, and if there's anybody else out there that knows better, I would be able to take these components and wire them up to this variable power unit and control the trains with that. And I'd be eternally grateful if somebody that knows about electronics and circuit boards could explain this to me. And if I'm right in assuming I can do that, and that way, you know, I can have 3 or 4 of them around the layout where I can control trains on each track. So once again, if you're interested in this, check out John's amazing trains videos and look specifically for how to beef up the R965. You should be able to get them for a couple of pounds over there in the UK, and you know, it doesn't cost much. It costs a few dollars to pick up these components and then bit of wire, put it all together. So you know, hopefully you'll follow through on that. Check out those videos and have a look at my videos that I made about my process when I did these and the failures that I had. All very interesting. So I look forward to hearing from you on this subject. So I hope you enjoyed this little chat, and we'll catch up later. Bye for now.